Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Fallout Season 2 review series. This is your finale. I am the Fall Taker, Trask Snail, and I'm joined by...
Hey, my name is Dilmus.
I am the Cold Fusion Taylor Field.
Yes, Taylor Field is here with us. Not another country, I guess, but another place in Canada. Not Homestead, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we've reached the end. It's just like, obviously that's all the things in life, the build-up of like, oh, it's been a couple of years since season one, then we get the trailers, we get the release schedule, and then it's like, boom, it's done. I think, again, it's because, oh no, Amazon, they only did the one episode this time, right? With Amazon, I'm always used to them dropping the three, but they dropped one.
Wasn't it 2 to start?
Yeah, you might be right. Maybe it was...
No, we missed the first 3 weeks. Maybe that's.
That's right. Yes, because of Christmas. Yeah, no, you're completely right.
No, didn't we do the first episode and then we took a 3-week break? I forget. How
We
that
did. That's what it was. We did the first episode. That's why it feels a little... So that makes complete sense. But yeah, so we're here. We're going to talk about it as usual, as we do now. We'll be in full spoilers right after I throw out a few plugs. But lots of things on the feeds. If you're liking TV shows, Kirkland and Taylor got you covered on the Game of Thrones side going over there. Dylan just dropped a nice side quest talking about Kane and a bunch of... Wait, did I say that right? Kane? Right? Karen, there you go. Karen and Highguard with Jessica, so check that out. She's back for that. Obviously, you got Fallout here. And then later on this Thursday, should be, if we get some news, some Weekly Geek with Dylan and Kirkland. And then this Sunday, we're going to be talking about some Super Bowl trailers. Maybe not the big head honchos like Spider-Man Avengers, but we're still going to get some stuff to talk about. Maybe some other news catch up. I got some things to kind of ask these guys about. And then on the Patreon side, which I will talk about more later, you have you have 2 episodes that went up this week. The Punisher season 1 retrospective. Taylor and Kirkland have reviewed it. Did they love it? Did they meh? Where were they? It's their first time seeing it.
It's been a while since I've watched that show. I got to hear their take.
Yeah, so it is up there in honor of prepping you for the Punisher special, so look out for that. And then that just dropped today was Kirkland and Taylor's first ever Bread and Butter duo episode, where they talked about, thank goodness, something safe, foods that they'd want to eat from different movie
you cowards. You freaking cowards. Come on. I saw what was on
we
the
figured we had no
topic
prep
list.
work. We didn't do the homework in time for the other topics, so we thought let's do something like
yeah.
this.
So it is the feeds, and you got Trez told you in there too that I already dropped this week. The feeds are for often, so just subscribe down below. There will be soon a new link where you can just find everything, one click. And now I will pimp this up for the next 2 weeks. We have a Discord link that no longer changes. The Discord link, if you want to talk to us or the listeners, it is solidified, solid, like a person in a vault chamber. It's done. It's
How much
Kyle
did you pay to get that fancy link?
I had to talk to a couple people. I had to make a couple deals. I had to show them some of your topics and
Had
be
to
like,
grease
hey,
some palms.
yeah, I had to promise some of Taylor and Kirkland shares. But let's get into this. I'm going to throw to Mr. Bethesda himself, at least one pawn time. I don't know if he wants to be Mr. Bethesda.
I'll call myself Mr. Bethesda. Yeah,
there you
down.
go. Mr. Bethesda, what did you think of just this finale? I'm going to ask you about the overall season, kind of maybe more near the back half, but what do you think of just this finale alone as an ending? Are you wanting more? Are you satisfied? Or are you left a little to be desired?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to talk about this without talking about the rest of this season, but I will try and answer your question as you asked it to me. I'm feeling iffy on this season finale here. I think there are some really good moments in here. I feel like this episode had the best acting of those seasons so far. We have a lot of great actors in here, but I feel like just the content of the scenes that you get, which makes sense for a finale of a movie, TV, anything, right? That's when you get some big moments. And I feel like most of our main characters, pretty much all of our main protagonists, I would say, kind of got a nice moment or two. And I thought they all did a really good job with that. So that was nice to see. I liked that. But I think overall, when it comes to where the season has led us to and where it's got us, I just feel like the journey wasn't substantial enough for me to be satisfied with the destination. Those two things are quantumly entangled, of course. And I just feel like this season wasn't really doing it for me. And this very much feels like the middle. I love Lord of the Rings: Two Towers. It's my favorite Lord of the Rings. Maybe. I don't know. I got to revisit that ranking. I change it every day. But, it's completed by its third movie. And I feel like this season very much felt like a bridge season. And so I don't feel like I got a whole lot of things tied up. We tied up a couple little things, but I just feel like it opened more doors than it closed. And I'm just not feeling super satisfied with what I got here overall. There's some decent moments in this episode, though. So I still had some good stuff to enjoy with it. It was a fun hour of TV. But overall, I think this episode and this season in general, definitely a step down from season 1 for me, unfortunately.
Where are you for season 3 now? Are you still locked in? Is it something where you need a trailer? Are you gonna let play out first? Like, where are you now after kind of a rocky?
Yeah, I
Rocky
mean,
road.
without spoiling a post credit thing, it's like, yeah, they got me. Like, I'm intrigued. I'm curious. I want to like I'm invested in some of these stories enough that I want to see where they're going. And the fact that they didn't tie them up here means that I got to come back for more. So, and I love Fallout. You know, it is one of my favorite series. It's up there for sure. So yeah, I'll definitely be back for season 3. I will be excited for it. This wasn't a huge step down for me from season 1, but it was a step down, but not into the tanking territory. Like, I would not fail this by any means. I still had a good time with it overall.
Taylor, same question. What do you think about this finale, and then what do you think about the season all overall, and your hype or lack thereof for the future Fallout?
Well, I definitely got hype for the future.
Okay,
looking
that's
forward to
good.
it, but
That's a good thing.
yeah, I feel like the carrot just kind of was just dangled a little bit ahead of you again for a finale. I would have liked things to have been maybe just wrapped up a bit more in its own story and not so reliant on, hey, you have to watch season 3 now to see what's happening, because we've got big things in Vegas and then we got big things happening in another state, and it's like, like I get
Yeah.
that, like that's your hook, right? But I don't think that I don't think it's fair to just end it like let's look at Dexter. You watch that first season, it doesn't end on a cliffhanger where, oh, guess what, all these soldiers are coming to Miami,
Yeah.
anything like that.
Well,
It's just
Dexter
like, hey,
nowadays
this is
could take
just
them on.
oh yeah, well, this is just it's a to B story, and you get what you get, and it's great, and it's its own self-contained narrative, and I love that, and I think that's what really holds this back, because I just feel like, okay, it's this narrative that's extended across a bunch of episodes for season 2, which I'm engaged with it. I like getting all this fleshed out storytelling with these characters and whatnot. That's great, and I'm enjoying it, all the acting and everything like that. But some things were done way too quickly. Some things were rushed, and you get one-off things in an episode that seem to come back in this episode as being really, really big and significant. And I don't know. I'm not necessarily there for it. But that being said, like I enjoyed it, and I really did have a good time with season 2 because of just how things have just, the stakes are up a bit more, and we've kind of broken off a bit more from what the first season was. And two, I like getting to explore more of the world building in here than what we've seen in the first season. I'm not necessarily attached too much to the specifics of what's going on in the vaults, and I feel like season 3 is going to kind of maybe
If you
break a
are, let
little
us
bit more
know,
from that.
because I haven't met anybody that is. Like I feel like everybody just like, this vault stuff. Like
I don't even know if the show was this season.
yeah, we got very little, but of what we did get, it's like, do we need this? I don't know. So.
But I'm looking forward to season 3. I really am.
Yeah. No, I think I'm a mixture of you guys. I think for me, like, it is a big step down from season 1, but I had season 1 at like almost like a 9.5, right? So I feel like if I'm losing 2 to 2.5, which might be a spoiler on my final rating, that's like a big drop for me. Obviously, I still enjoyed it. I think the season did get better overall as it continued. I think it started a little rough and started honestly quite slow, and then we picked up a little bit. We met some interesting characters. I think there was some good episodes along the way, but then even stuff with this finale, I think there's one, which we'll talk about them all. I think you're fine to dangle the carrot for some things, but there's one that I was like, all right, like it's almost like next year this better conclude now. It's something where it's like if it doesn't conclude next year, that would be maybe me tapping out unless the rest of the show is good, or even just stuff that I talked about. Obviously, I've been on a few episodes and been missing a few, so I think when that big Deathclaw fight happened, I was not on it, and it didn't happen. It was just like very quickly dispatched. And even this finale, they did what I wanted. Like, hey, if you got Deathclaw, this should get a lot of time. They gave it a lot of time, but man, was it not thrilling at all. It was just like the most, just kind of off to the side. Like, one, the Deathclaw didn't look great in the daytime. It looked,
Deathclaws be getting one tapped in this show. Like, they
Yeah.
don't have a lot of HP like they do in the game.
and it wasn't like, to me, like when you see them in the game, there is a sense of fear, right? And it's just a lot of wide shots of Maximus like fighting it, like nothing. Like I feel like there's no choreography, no nothing. I don't know if that's the limitations of the show or the budget. It just feels like this should be a Revenant bear moment. The Deathclaw. It should be something that's like you remember, and now Deathclaw's just kind of there, right? So I think that's the thing that even though I think the finale was really strong in some aspects, I agree with Dylan on the acting. I really am intrigued and love what happened with Lucy and her dad. That brings up tons of questions for multiple characters of like, okay, did this really happen? Is this a lie? So I did enjoy this season, but I think if this finale didn't leave some of those questions, I think the questions for the most part that I left unanswered, I am actually very intrigued with them. But I think if so, that's a good job of the finale. It did leave me wanting more, but I do really want next year or whenever it comes up to kind of step up along the way. It shouldn't be that the finale kind of throws a Hail Mary to me. I do like these characters, and they have introduced some concepts that I want to see expanded upon. But at the same time, I kind of thought that with this, and like that's where I'm going to throw to Dylan. I've never played the game. For a game like New Vegas, so I've heard for years about it. I know you and other people are very excited. I feel like this didn't get the gist of it. Like when we are, I'm not used to because we do spoilers now in the opening. It's like, oh, we're going to Colorado next. It's like, really? Like I was almost like, oh, I think maybe we'll spend another season in Vegas because there's probably still more to do there. They're setting up other characters uprising, so it's like maybe we will stick here for a bit. But it feels like for this thing that was people were very excited by the poster and the signs of it, that it didn't really have the luster that I've heard about from the game, which is kind of disappointing because I think it'd be maybe a minute till we go back there for a full moment. But what do you think about that, Dylan? As you're a big fan of that series.
Yeah, I mean, specifically with New Vegas, like what makes it such a great game is that you have, for me, the three really interesting factions. I'm not a big Brotherhood guy, so I kind of put that to the side. But NCR, Kaiser's Legion, and like Mr. House and crew and that sort of stuff, and like that push and pull between those characters, those factions, and what's going on there, and all the choices you have in the game of siding with them, going against them. To me, that's all like the interesting stuff. But like Mr. House, I thought based off episode 1 that he was going to be a big character in the season, and then he gets like 15 minutes of screen time, like even just, and a lot of that's not even with the character on screen, just like a voice or the face on the screen, of course.
And it's a well-known actor too, so I kind of thought, oh, Justin Theroux's going to be in this for a bit. They went for somebody that's a name, right? And
that's one that like I'm sure he would be in the next season. It's not like they killed him off or anything here, but it does feel like I don't know if we really have a whole lot of there. I don't know if there's a story that I'm super invested in. I can't wait to see what they do with Mr. House in season 3 based on what they left with here and how we're just dropping the Pip-Boy and then heading off there. And then like Kaiser's Legion was also such a weird one where it just kind of just feels like it was a setup for season 3. And like we got like
100%.
one kind of fun episode, but then we didn't go back there. And then we finally did come back here a little bit and got like one scene of Macaulay Culkin chewing some scenery, but that's like, all right, that's kind of it. And then NCR were also like completely absent. So I feel like to me so much the identity of New Vegas is with those factions and with New Vegas specifically the strip and like what it's like there. And the strip was very different, and all these factions were just not really a big part of the season. So it feels like, hey, what did we really have then? And I think the answer is that it was just stretched too thin. Like we spent too much time with the Vault stuff, even though nothing particularly interesting happened. We got a lot of Brother stuff early on. Brotherhood of Steel stuff, and then like also the end of the season's like teasing we're gonna get more of that, and it's like I don't know. I just feel like I think this show spread itself too thin, unfortunately. I think that's kind of the biggest thing against this season for me in general.
Like butter scraped over too much bread,
Absolutely, couldn't have said about it myself.
And that's the thing. There's some storylines that close off, but they kind of continue on. Like we'll get into it, but there's that moment where all those people in the vault are banging on. I can't remember her name. The girl with the eye patch. That big reveal last week in this week, Steph. And I for a second thought she was going to pull out a big gun and like take them all out. And you shouldn't want this for me as a viewer, but I was actively rooting for that because I'm like, oh, that means this storyline will be over. That didn't happen. Seems like there's more to that. So it's like, okay, we got that. And same thing with Lucy's brother. It's like, maybe some of them will die.
What the heck was the point of any of that?
Yeah, and that's where it's like I would take out or really reduce or maybe just take that out and say like, hey, we'll pick up with Lucy's brother in season 3. Like leave that as a big secret. Maybe in the finale of season 2.
They both share the same narrative, right? Like between Steph and him. Like it's the results or like the final plan for what the vault is, right? So
yeah, I guess maybe just come back to it, or just I don't need them both. I don't think they strengthen each other. I guess right. I don't feel like at the end when that stuff happens, it's harmonized. It's just like okay, it's two things were happening, and that's where it's funny. We've talked about this before, where in the video game it is like I gotta find my dad, my son, my sister, whoever. But you go do all these side quests, and it doesn't really work narratively in your mind, right? Because if your son's out there, why are you helping someone find a bottle cap or their lost hat or something? And that's where I think you see now the show is the opposite of that, right? Where it's like you want to see these fun factions and the fun area like New Vegas, but it's like no, this is a main objective story, right? And that's where it's. I think maybe that's too. Like I know we did have a couple episodes that were just in the world, but I guess those just weren't the strongest either. I guess they also, and I've never played New Vegas, but they just to me didn't differentiate enough between last season. I feel like okay, we got a bit more buildings and some factions, but it still just felt like apocalyptic type of world, right?
Yeah.
So I hope with Colorado they can kind of do that, but like they just show a picture and it's just mountains, right? So it's like okay,
And I guess we're obviously fully in like the spoiler territory at this point.
yeah.
But then also, the like the post credit. I don't know if it's too soon to jump to that. You guys want to come back?
No, let's do it now. Let's do it now. Yeah.
Because that's teasing like the end of Fallout 3, which is like in Washington D.C. So
Oh, okay.
or like a storyline there. You could transplant that and put it in another location, I suppose. Unless I could be missing something too. But I don't know. Like that seems like okay. Well, we already have enough storylines, and now we're potentially opening two. Like I don't really know what's going on with Colorado. I don't know what that is supposed to be exactly.
Well, that's where his family is, I imagine.
Yeah, I guess, but I sorry, I guess in terms of like the game.
Oh, okay.
equivalent, Like I don't know what.
Yes.
I don't know what.
They've,
I guess that's
they've never
new.
gone there before.
Not that I can think of. So maybe there's like a DLC because I haven't played all the DLC
Okay.
for New Vegas. Maybe that's one of them. You go to because I guess Colorado and Vegas are close, right? Am I right about that?
Close
I've
enough.
been to both of them, but I don't know where they are on the map.
They're apocalypse hiking distance. You know, you got
Yeah.
nothing to do. So
Maybe that's one of the DLCs. Maybe that's one of the DLCs or something like that. Not that that's a character from the game anyway, but
yeah.
yeah. So that already feels like okay. Now we're gonna potentially go in two other huge directions. But again, it could just be like in the way that the Kaiser's Legion was barely used in this season, but it appears to be like a big part. Like I guess that's a big issue I have with like the end of this of like setting up this huge war that's gonna happen between Kaiser's Legion and NCR. Like the only reason I care about that is because of my pre-baked interest from the game specifically. But I guess to ask both you guys, like, do you guys care about this impending war between these factions that you just don't really know anything about from this show only, from this season? I should say.
Not really too because or I think I screwed up. His name's not Maximus, right? What is his name? Is this or is
Maximus is our guy. Yeah,
Maximus is a guy?
we
right?
were calling him Titus.
Right, that's
wrongly
right.
for a bit. but
Yeah. I think if I still had a character involved in one of these wars, I would.
Right.
But we haven't, and it's almost like these like you said, dealing with how many storylines. I feel like this is stuff where maybe you could have been like, let's deal with Maximus, Lucy, and even the Ghoul, Howard storyline, and then later on, let's get to okay, we're gonna maybe set up the Brotherhood, but let's do the Civil War like down the line when we kind of resolve some of those issues, right, and build up to it. Where at the end, when Lucy Maximus like, there's a war coming, it's like. I don't feel like there's a war coming. Like this feels so just kind of shoehorned in there. And yeah, I don't care as of right now. Hopefully season 3 will make me care because obviously the Brotherhood of Steel, they're no good. Kaiser's like, I did love the stuff from Macaulay Culkin as far as that note of like my line ends with me and it's over here. Just and he decides okay, I'm going to kill him, take over. And that's also because
Wish we got more
Culkin, but I
of him
liked the
this
twist.
season.
Yeah, which at least them revisiting to him though, maybe go, okay, maybe he will have a bigger role in 3 because I was worried it was just that episode and they were done with it. So
Yeah.
they have to make me care, and I do have like more denims of that, but I'll throw to Tate. Oh, and I will also mention, I looked in the Fallout wiki. Apparently, Colorado has been mentioned several times in the series, but I don't know if they've gone there. It says it's been mentioned in Fallout New Vegas, 76, and the TV series. It had factions formerly of the Hand Dogs and then Kaiser's Legion, so that could transfer over. Obviously, maybe they're gonna, maybe their
Yeah.
ideas they want to take over more of Colorado. But yeah, Colorado was a state of pre-war in the United States of America, mentioned multiple times, but I don't know if they've been there in the game. So,
Okay.
Taylor, do you
Good to
care
know.
about the
Thank
Civil
you.
War if we get there in season 3, like Dylan asked?
I mean, everything with Brotherhood of Steel, I was excited to kind of get this thing falling apart because we got a few episodes that felt like of them establishing this alliance. It was shaky, and then you've got this fifth faction of the Brotherhood of Steel showing up, and like they're the bee's knees. They got like all extra suits and power armor, all that
Yeah.
jazz. Like they're top of the line, and then it just cuts to black. You get a couple of their cruisers just firing upon each other and some internal conflict, and that's it. Then we move on and we go like 3 episodes with nothing following that. It's like, well, that's kind of shitty. That's a very, very significant thing in this season. And so I'm glad that we got an end credit scene that kind of is like giving us a little tidbit, but it's a shame to throw such a thing like this in an end credit scene. Like, what the fuck? So, That
Is it
being said,
though?
I'm excited.
Like I think we're excited. I didn't know there was an end credit. I honestly just left it on because I was digging the music, and then I saw this pop up. But like I like if non-game players don't see this big machine, are they getting very excited? Like to them, it's almost nothing. Like to me, it's like okay, they're building something that I hope they have the budget for because those dev
I'm
clothes
just
weren't looking
excited-
great, and they're gonna introduce this Transformer thing now. It's gonna be
I'm
massive.
excited with the
Again.
fact that like we're getting, I guess, just confirmation. Like, okay, this story isn't done, and these characters are still
Fair.
duking it out. And it wasn't like because when I saw that scene of just the cruisers like firing upon each other, I thought, well, the Brothers Steel's no more. I legit thought like, okay, they're done. There's nothing left because, or maybe that fifth faction that exists out there. I thought maybe they're gonna be the ones that are just gonna come out on top. But
Somehow
I
we
thought
lost
they
the
were
Brotherhood
done.
of Steel.
Yeah, but so this kind of reaffirms like, okay, no, they're still out there. They're still pretty strong and pretty capable. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
that. But I do look forward to them coming back.
I mean, because I was just looking this up too. Like, apparently, I mean, this makes a lot of sense that Fallout 3 in like the game in the timeline is like before New Vegas. So it also makes me curious what storyline we'd be getting with this Alpha Prime thing and going back in time because this is already the show is past New Vegas and now we're going like
Yeah.
way back in time. So it again, it's like the way they took like even just the city of New Vegas and the way that that's changed in the show versus what it's like in the game because all this time has passed. I guess it makes me curious what kind of storyline we'd even get from Fallout 3, given that story has already taken place, unless they just like break canon and do some other fun stuff with it.
Yeah, which there's two other notes. I guess it appears directly in Fallout Tactics, so there you go, and would have featured prominently in Van Buren, aka the canceled Fallout 3 game by Black Isle Studios.
Sorry,
Do you know anything?
what appears in
Colorado. Colorado
Colorado,
is Tactics,
okay.
and then Van Burden, the canceled Fallout 3 by Black Isle Studios. So why you said there's a Fallout 3? There's one that was also canceled, I guess. So I guess was there a version of that game that didn't like they started over or something?
maybe with the original developers back in the day? I didn't actually know about that, but
The
that
canceled Fallout 3 by Black Isle Studios.
so yeah, that would have been like back in the 90s, I guess, like before Bethesda bought the IP, probably.
So that's kind of a fun thing, though. I feel like that's kind of cool. Where it's like you were gonna get a game about Colorado, got canceled, and that's what I was gonna say to circle back to Colorado. We will talk about other stuff in the episode. I just, obviously we're here at Colorado, so may as well stick around. I think it's probably for the best for them to go somewhere that's maybe not heavily in the games right now. Like the first world was just okay. You see the vault and the wasteland, that's good. 2, they did New Vegas, which I think we kind of all agree that maybe they didn't do the greatest or have a big impact. But now if you go to Colorado, I think at least you don't have that heaviness of New Vegas of you got to do this or we want to see this. And now they can kind of just do whatever they want maybe. Like if they go, hey, maybe they're talking about season 3 and we want to do something really radical or something. They go, well, we've never really touched upon that in the game, that type of location. Well, what if we went to somewhere we've never gone? And that they go, oh, perfect, right? And maybe that's a sign of, hey, we're not going to Colorado and Fallout 5 or whatever. Have at it. So I think that'll be a good thing. I guess my question is now, and now we talk about specifics, is Maximus and Lucy are there. Like we talk about they're seeing this war happen or the starting of a war. And then Howard's off to Colorado. I don't know how those stories are going to interlink. So are they not going to
I mean,
interact at all?
There's again so much fast travel that happens in this show. Like people traverse huge swaths of land extremely quickly. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we'll get away with it because we don't like. Sometimes the show will cut. And you don't really know how much time has passed, and you assume it's been like a day. But like based on how far they've gone, it's like, oh, this is probably like weeks of travel. So I don't
Yeah.
know. It's tricky. So I don't know. I don't know if that'll be a huge issue.
I guess I mean just more like why would they follow him? Like what are they going to need? Because like at least with Maximus, he's looking for Lucy, right? Where I think Lucy and Howard ended on better terms here because he did save her, but I don't think they're going to be like, well, we need Howard for this war or something, right? So that's why I'm wondering how they're gonna, or if they're gonna do that. Maybe they're just gonna do a season where like Howard's on his own, and then those two are by themselves, kind of like what
Yeah,
they
he'll
did with
make a new
Maximus
buddy
this
for
season.
this season. Yeah.
Yeah,
next
something
season.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Taylor? How do you think? Do you think we could see those storylines separate the whole season for season 3, or do you think we're going to just somehow get them together?
I mean, it definitely felt like the two were hunkering down in Vegas for like batting down the hatches, and then Cooper was out. He was out yonder with dog meat, so
Yeah.
it felt very, very split down the center between what their two paths are going to be. But I just want to like touch upon that note of them going into Colorado, and that not being a touch point really in the games. Yes, and I'm kind of advocating for the side of where you get to focus on creating new original content and expand on the world building with the show because they're going somewhere that hasn't been featured before. It's only been mentioned, but I know that is it a double-edged sword? Because if you're looking at something like this, are people going to hate on it? Because when you're dealing with a game franchise and you try to create and do your own spin to it, well, then all of a sudden you got the community just getting pissed off because like, oh, what are they doing? And it's like there's no source material that they're pulling from. They're just creating their own sandbox at this point.
Yeah.
But it's pissing people off because they're making bad decisions, right? And we've
Yeah.
seen that in other
Game of
video game
Thrones.
adaptations.
Or even just
And yeah,
books,
like Game
right?
of
Once
Thrones.
they didn't have the last book, they're like, oh, we'll do this, this, and this. They'll be like, oh, this isn't how George would have done it, Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting. So let's take our first ad break and we'll talk about some more specifics for this finale, and we'll be right back. And we're back. Tierfield, who you want to start with first? What story? Where do you want to go? Got Ghoul, getting resolution with his family, Lucy and her dad, Maximus just... you know what? I'm going to butt in. Start there. Because do we have much to say about Maximus in this episode? Like we talked about the Deathclaw a little bit, but it's like, to me, I was very underwhelmed by that. And I appreciate them for giving it a big highlight in the finale, but I just wish even choreography would have been a bit more exciting. Never once, I believe, him or the townspeople were in danger. Like Dylan said, they were squishy as heck. Like, very odd choices with the Deathclaw,
There's one moment with him where he did a little like jetpack launch in the air and then fired his missile down and like blew up the Deathclaw. I like that, but the Deathclaws were way too like I've never fought one because I've never really played that much of Fallout, but I know that they're strong, and this just made them feel puny, weak, and insignificant. But yeah, he was present and he saved the town, which is great. I give credit to Thaddeus with those toe shots. Like, holy
I was gonna say, Dr.
smokes.
Bubbles said, "What WTF is Thaddeus? Come on already!" I take it, not a fan. I'm right down the middle with
I like
Thaddeus.
the toe shot. That was awesome.
Yeah, he lost his arm last
When
week.
he has to reload.
Yeah, I didn't like the whole. I get it because Fallout's comedic. I didn't like when he did the bet for the bottle caps and he let them all go, because I just feel like in this
Yeah.
world they might just kill you and take them. Very
Yeah,
risky.
like, is he
It
going to then
made no
pick all that
sense.
up with
his
hand
one
and
arm.
stuff? Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's not going to go well for him. So that was strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't like how easily the Deathclaws are killed. It's supposed to be like the toughest enemy in the games. Other than like I think 76 has added a bunch of crazy monsters now, but they're supposed to be like this big thing, and they just feel like so easy. And honestly, I thought the CGI looked a little bit better here of them getting slaughtered and whatnot than it did last episode, to be honest. But still, I didn't love that necessarily. It's not the end of the world though. I will shout out the one thing is when Thaddeus doesn't take the shot. And you instead, that's when like the NCR is introduced, and you have the one guy up there with the sniper shot. That is pulled right from the Fallout New Vegas. I think it's the intro cinematic of the game.
Okay.
Where you
He's
get,
even the
like,
dude on the cover too. Like I was going to ask you about.
it's like pretty much that exact shot. He's got the same sniper. It's a different context. He's in a different spot, and it's like nighttime in the game and whatnot. But it's like the same shot, the same slow mo angle of the bullet and whatnot.
That's
so
cool.
Another good, like a lot of good callbacks to the game specifically in here. So I wanted to shout that one out. But
Just when you're out, they get you back in. You're like, oh, look at that.
I mean,
That's some cool stuff,
I get like when I'm watching that, I'm like, I am acknowledging this is fan service and I like it, but it's not going to make me give this an episode a 10 out of 10. You know, like
Yeah.
obviously, I think I have the ability to disconnect those things. But
Yeah.
overall, when I look back on this season, I think there'll be a fun like 15-minute YouTube compilation of like game reference to specific thing in this show, and I do like to see a lot of that stuff. I just wish there was a bit more substance to like back it up, but you know.
I do have to stop because I saw this a lot on the online deal. I'm not sure if you saw that. Slim Bob says, so disappointed no remasters have dropped, because that was a big rumor, because they're like, oh, at the finale, either it was Fallout 3 or something else, or New Vegas, there's going to be
Yeah.
some announcement or something. And as of right now, 8 p.m. 47 PST, nothing game related
Nothing yet.
whatsoever. So that's why, just like that, just like the Stranger Things finale, sometimes you gotta temper the expectations, because the internet can just get a buzz with stuff that's really has nothing, no merit. So I wish it happened. I thought it would have been cool.
I mean,
so.
yeah, the rumors for this are like as rumored as the Oblivion one was, and that just shadow dropped one day. So I think with
True.
Fallout, don't wait for a certain time. Someday it'll just exist, and then
Yeah.
you can play it. But I know that's not very helpful for a lot of people. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think the only other thing for me with Maximus would be just like the reuniting with Lucy. I don't know if we want to jump there.
Yeah,
right
sure.
now. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big Maximus fan in general, but I do think that he had some good moments in here, like just intersplice. I didn't like love the fights with Deathclaws necessarily, but still like intersplicing his like flashbacks with that in real time. I thought that was pretty well edited. And yeah, I really like the moment when him and Lucy get back together. I mean, it's very emotional, very cute scene at the same time. And I just, I think it was probably his best performance this season for me of an actor that I don't think is like maybe giving my favorite performance of all time. And Lucy, she's always great. She gets a ton of emotional stuff in this season in general, but just the moment when they reunite, I thought was really, really cute, really sweet. And again, even though I didn't love the journey to get to this point, it was still a fun moment. So yeah, big shout out to both of them there.
Especially for her, because I would say more than ever is when she needs anybody, but at least this is someone she can trust and has or maybe had romantic feelings towards. It's like big moment for her. And I am curious to see his character now in season 3, because season 1, he's very like the dopey guy trying to work his way up. Season 2 was kind of a mixture of I'm super serious and then joking with Camille, and then he was just kind of, I don't know, just a vessel. This last like he was just
he was quite
generic
serious, and then until I feel like he got teamed up with Thaddeus again, and then his goofy side started coming out, I guess.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see what they do. I think next year is going to get pretty heavy on the romance side. But do you have anything on Maximus before we move on? Anything specific?
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I feel like at times they don't necessarily know how they're trying to put this character out there, because season 1 being goofy and whatnot, and season 2 being just very serious, and that's what kind of caught me off guard, was the sudden shift of this character being just depressed and
war, man.
And, war. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens with season 3. I mean, yeah, because we had goofy, and then we had calm, and then maybe we'll be angry or hyper. I don't know. We'll get some of the
romantic
version,
hyper.
or
Yeah,
there you go. That makes more
romantic.
sense.
That's next season. Look out next season. Yeah, let's go to Lucy. This was my favorite stuff, not only acting wise, because I've said it many times. I love Kyle MacLachlan. I feel like he got to actually do a variation of performances where this season he's wasn't it more, but he's always just doing like, this is the way of the world. And now we kind of know why, but still was very like, okay, it's a good performance, but it's still kind of one note. This, we got to see some variations. So I like the acting between them both. Elle Purnell, whoever the costume designer, great in that yellow dress. Great look.
So good.
Yeah, very good. And then again, it's going back into these conversations we've had multiple times this season about the question of free will. And then even this too, it's like a very, I don't know if I want to say the episode's like pro AI, but there might be something to that, because the big reveal is, okay, so she has her dad, she locks him up. We picked up from last week where we found the poor congresswoman, just the brain waves. Kill me. Yeah. I like that there was no trust. This poor lady's been kept alive for 200 years, but I love the reasoning as far as they wanted to use her almost as a vessel, because she was like one of the best. Like if you wanted to base someone's personality, it'd be this person who was opposed to them and like that whole crew, the Vault Tech people. So they knew, hey, we're against her, but she's a good person, so we should use her. So that was brutal. And they kind of set up that, okay, which I feel like we've heard before. Maybe Lucy hasn't, but they kind of once again hit us with, hey, the experiment's not the vaults, it's up here, right? Everyone's in the vaults, gonna see what happens, and we're gonna work it out, then come back and live in this new utopia. And then he also explains, hey, there's people out there, they got even better tech than myself. They got these things that just go right in your neck, and you'll never even know who's, I'll just say, a robot and who's not, right? Even though they're not robots, because he said, oh, that's a boring world, right? So the idea is she's gonna put this in his neck. She wants the truth from him, which I just said that, what he told her. And then she's gonna walk him back for justice, and then she said, which was kind of chilling, like, make you the dad that I wish you were. But big reveal is he also has a little buzzer, and he's got a red button. And man, this was something where it's like, okay, I'm not saying it was a great finale overall, but this moment in particular, when he hit that, and now we find out whether it's a person controlling him or his program, which that's what I mean about the AI thing, that very likely her whole life, this guy that's raised her is just a fucking program. It's not even her dad, because then when he gets swaps out of it, he has no idea who she is. So it's like, how long has he been like this? Has he been like that since the flashback, since the vault? And that's where it's like I said, like somewhat pro AI, because it's like she even said, like, last episode, thank God you raised me not to be like a doofus and a bad person, because this is what I'm going to do. So I was rocked by that. I thought he was just killing himself. Okay, sure, easy way out. But when that reveal of, oh, he's not actually a person, and now he's just sitting on a stump somewhere, no memories. Like, how long? He's pretty much just been a coma his like past whatever 200 years. crazy. So I applaud them for that big time. That one floored me, and that gives me the 2 thumbs up. So
Yeah.
Um,
I
Oh, sorry.
sorry, Taylor, you go for it. Go for it, buddy. You got it.
I was gonna say, like, I think that whole reveal, it fits in my kind of headcanon of this character, because with him in this season, I feel like they just kind of ushered him in as the secretary who had this massive kind of mission and he's super tech savvy. He had all this stuff going for him. I just thought, it doesn't. I feel like there's a disconnection. It doesn't fit with who
Yeah.
he was in season 1 and now where he is here. But I feel like, okay, just as like this vessel, this program, this alternative kind of to what we were expecting him to be, or I guess he was portrayed to be. I like that. I think it fits a lot more in how I can see this character and how I can take it. So retroactively, this reveal, it actually boosts up the development and just
Yeah.
the narrative of the character.
because we always said in the flashbacks too, why is he always around too? Because that's the thing.
Yeah.
I just thought, okay, maybe he's gonna usurp the people. Like something happens that we'll find the flashbacks that Kyle MacLachlan kind of go, especially too when what's his name, Doctor House, Mr. House was like, oh, there was unseen forces. I thought, oh, that's gonna be the reveal that the whole time Kyle MacLachlan was kind of working in the shadows to get up the chain. But no, like I said, we don't know when that happened. But no, he was just kind of another tool for Vault-Tec to use, like almost like the 1A of this mechanic, which apparently, according to him, they have a bunch of already. So I love that line for next season of, oh, there's people that you've probably met that have them, and you don't even know, which is like, who do you trust? Like that.
Yeah.
That's a good layer now, you know?
Yeah, and it's interesting the way that connects with like the big narrative around in Fallout 4 of like the synths and how indistinguishable they are from humankind and that sort of stuff too. So I feel like there is maybe some connectivity there, and I guess again this canonically takes place after Fallout 4 as well. So I don't know what that means there, if there's actually a connection in those two things or if it's more just like a overall kind of thematic connection. But yeah, I agree with you guys. Like really cool reveal, really good the way it's done. Really emotional scene, great acting from the both of them there, but like again, particularly Lucy. I mean, like her eyes obviously are just so distinct, and especially when she's
Yeah.
crying, it's like, oh my god, like she just has the way of like drawing you, and it's crazy. I think the only thing that I didn't love about this sequence is it's twofold, because I like that Howard comes back and saves her, in that moment. But I also kind of wish that she had gotten out of it on her own. But it's tricky, right? I kind of want two things that are impossible to have at the same time, just because I feel like she's grown, and I feel like she's was so naive, and that was like the journey of season 1, is like not becoming, like getting out of the naivety that she had, and she still has moments of that because she's still fresh to the overworld than compared to the people that have lived up there their whole lives. But I think overall, given how much of a plot twist this is, it makes sense that anyone could kind of get fooled in this situation. And I guess she definitely thought she had the upper hand last week when she locked him up, right? So
Yeah.
I guess you can't put too much blame on her there. But that's maybe my only minor quibble with that sequence. But cool to see Howard come back for her.
Yeah, and I think they just did that so the next time they meet, they're all good. There's no like, oh, well, the last time we were together, you tried to trade me in, and I kicked you off a roof. Right now, it kind of feels like it's like we're square. I agree with you. You could have maybe had two things where maybe she gets out of it and he intervenes in a different way. So no, I do get that. And also we talked about Colorado, but I don't think we mentioned a little bit about why we're going there. Howard's whole episode was flashbacks, which I did like, as far as, because we kind of talked about, we've seen the new Captain, and we were always wondering, okay, him and his wife, did they end on good terms or not, right? Because we've seen arguments and stuff, and she was part of that, but it shows that, okay, they were kind of working together near the end, and that's why Iz looking for her, because near the end, they must have figured it out. He finally gets to these other vaults for the managers. He sees the names. He asks for the open it for Mr. House, and then, of course, they're not there, so he thinks all hope is lost, but then he finds that postcard. It says Colorado, and then it says, it was a good idea you had, and then that's where he's off to. So that was the one where it's like, I would have rather than been alive or dead. Like, do I need my only hope, and this is where I will critique it when we get to the next season, is we could easily have a time jump, right, between season 2 and 3.
True.
If he meets his family, like I'll say in the first half of season 3, then I'm okay with it. If it's like, oh, you're going there and then you find them, then I'm fine with it. If it's another thing that's strung along to the season 3 finale, that's where I go, okay,
This
it's
was,
yeah, like that. And this was fine because like season 1, we didn't know exactly what he was after for a bit, right? And then we got that. So I was fine with another season. If we do season 3 to the finale where he either finds his family or it delays again, that's a bit too much for me. It just feels like we have nothing for Howard to do, and it's almost like the writers are scared of, oh, when we get him with his family, how do we write that? Which to me is some juicy stuff because now that I have those pods, I imagine his daughter is going to be aged up a little, right? Like I don't think she's going to be the same little girl she was, right?
I mean, that very much could be a thing like Fallout 4, right? Which like
Yes.
the whole twist, whole
Love
twist of
that.
that game, they could like redo that if they want, and maybe it wouldn't work as well unless you haven't played Fallout 4, I guess. But like that could be juicy if they go for that.
Especially if we go full Fallout 4 with that
Yeah.
character maybe not being on the good side, that could be
And if
tons
fake
of
out with a
fun.
synth again, which would connect with like the Hank
Yeah.
storyline too, like that's I mean, maybe we'd see it coming a little bit, but still that would be a big moment. I mean, at least for the reveal of like Cooper's character, that would be pretty crazy.
Yeah. So if it can lead to some good stuff, so that's why for me I'm tentative. But when it was those pods open and nobody, and then the postcard, I was like, okay. So like I said, I'll
I was
circle
with
back
you
to.
on
Okay, I'll circle back to this next year when we talk, or next season or whenever. But Taylor?
So maybe I'm thinking I must have missed something throughout season 1, or maybe something in season 2. But when we got those flashbacks of Cooper fleeing on horseback from that birthday party with his daughter, so did we
He
get
just made-
like a
he just
They
brought.
got-
Are you saying how he's non jail?
no? How is he just like when the nukes went off? Why did he just say, "Here you go, wife. Here's the daughter. I'll find you guys in a vault 200 years later"?
Well, he was on a gig though. That's what, if you remember, he was on a job. Like he was like
Yeah, for a birthday party with his daughter, or with his
Well,
daughter.
was his daughter for sure there?
She was there.
I think yeah, because then they escape on
Okay.
horse together. And I thought, okay, that's where I'm not sure if did I miss something, because where's the disconnect? How did the daughter end up in a vault out of his reach if they were together?
I guarantee you, as much as I don't like this answer, you're gonna find out next year via flashbacks.
course.
And I think what's gonna happen is they reunite and they get separated. They probably think he's dead and they go on without him. That's what I think probably is. But the show is very much like Arrow or Dexter. They love every season to have flashbacks. So I think that's gonna happen. So
yeah.
Okay.
yeah. So Yeah,
So I don't think I have a better answer, unfortunately.
yeah. Let's see here. I'm looking at my notes. Oh, but one thing, just a quick thing with Maximus when his armor came off, and like it's just a damn kid. This man's not a kid. It's like Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 2 when he's on the train. They go,
kinda has,
older
like,
than
a
my
dopey
son.
kid face, though. I feel like.
I guess, but he still looks. Let me find out how old he is. Like he to me looks like a man. I'm not saying an old man. I'm just saying like he just is. I don't see him and look like that's a kid out there. You know.
Yeah,
So
I hear you.
I'll find out how old he
Uh,
is.
Travis, you were theorizing on like how far in the next season we'll get Howard reuniting with his family. I guess same question for you guys with Norm. How far into season 3 do we get Lucy and Norm reconnecting?
Oh God, I forgot. I literally like when you said Norm, I had to struggle
Because
to
I feel
think.
like if I had to predict, I feel like the Norm one will happen early on in the season, and Howard's family. And I know I keep swapping between calling him Cooper and Howard on these
Yeah.
first and last names to make it extra confusing. I'll go with Howard from here on out. I feel like that to me seems like a season ender situation. So I feel like Norm early mid next season. Because what else has Norm got? Like I don't know what else we could drum up for him to be doing for 6 hours.
He's busy
you know?
saving this chick's life now, right?
we're going home,
Bring-
and it's like you want to go
Going
home?
home, yeah.
You want to go home, really? So I think there's a good chance because I think I'm really on the theory that Cooper Howard will be mostly on his own. So I think that's how you can have Lucy meet her brother somewhat. I hope mid-season, not finale. I hope it's not a thing that's dragged out because I feel like I need them back together for me to care about what's going on in Norm because
Yeah.
I really don't. And like all that drama, everything that happened with these Vault people, they just died like for nothing. So that's where it's just like, not only was I not invested, if you're trying to get me invested, that shows me not to care because the power struggle, the actual secret backup plan, all this stuff didn't matter because a bunch of bugs got them. So it's like,
I would have been fine if that happened in their first outing, which would have
Yes.
been funny. It would have been a classic Fallout joke of like, oh, they died to a bunch of rad roaches, the lowest level enemy in the
Yeah.
game, like cannon fodder. You know, it gives you 1 XP because it's such a small enemy. But like the fact that we kind of dick around the whole season before we get that happens, and there's like not really anything too compelling that happens in the meantime. A couple nice scenes with him and that one girl, but like I don't know. I feel like we just didn't really need to do all that.
yeah. The other one is, when's the brother and sister getting back together?
Off the top of my head, I was thinking like, oh, I could see like maybe like mid-season brother and sister, like they bump into each other and then they have like some kind of disruption or something happens, and they come back in like the penultimate or whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. It's tough to say because I feel like, okay, we got these 3 narratives. We got stuff that's going to continue happening in Las Vegas, the unfolding of this war, stuff that's going to be happening in Colorado, and stuff that's going to be happening in the vault because we got characters returning to the vault and whatnot. So 3 different storylines, like where we're going to have one more season of all of that, and then another season where they've all kind of come back home and kind of meet together again. Like, so I don't know. I could see the whole Norm and Lucy thing not even really. Maybe they don't reconnect next season. I mean, they didn't at all in this season. So maybe season 3 they don't reconnect at all again, right? It depends how many more shows they're going to be doing of this.
That would be crazy. 2 full seasons apart.
It would be crazy. I would definitely say I could see Howard and his family definitely sooner than Lucy and Norm for sure.
I think so, yeah. They
What
could
if
get pulled
maybe
apart.
Norm will team up with Howard, and that'll be the duo for next season in the most unlikely connection? But he'll be like, hey, I see something in you, kid. Are you Lucy's brother? And he's like, yeah, I am. You want to be friends? And they just go off to Colorado together.
Oh no.
You're not wrong, because
Maybe
we
they fall in
said
love.
that they're like Ghoul, Cooper Howard could potentially get another person if he doesn't meet back up with Lucy and Maximus.
You need him. He needs to act with someone. You're not just gonna have Goggins on his own walking around and being
Yeah.
cool.
I guess the only thing is with Goggins too, we don't know is they set up a couple episodes ago. Remember that whole mutant thing? So that could also be part of his storyline next season with
right.
Ron Perlman and stuff, and like they want him for the war. So I think there's
Oh my
still
God,
some more.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, there's some more stuff to do there. So Ron Perlman could also be one of those buddies he takes upon, or like another mutie, right? He meets someone that's like the lower tier
Well,
mutant.
Yeah, because I was wondering, one of the iconic locations in Fallout New Vegas, which I made a video on recently, is Jacobstown, which is like a settlement of super mutants. And so I wondered if we were going to go there this season. So that could be a place that we that's in the mountains. So that could be
Easily.
a transition to get to Colorado.
Yeah, I could see that. No, that makes sense. By the way, Aaron Morden, who plays Maximus, is 36 years old.
I
He
thought you were about to
turns
say he's in the chat and had a comment. I was like,
No,
whoa,
no, no.
that'd be crazy.
come on the show, coming after 9. He's about to be 37 in 25 days. So he is 3 years away from
We'll wish
40.
him a happy birthday.
Happy birthday for sure. Just I can't be calling him a kid. I'm fault. He's not a kid, So he's a man.
I thought he was early
twenty.
20s.
Yeah, how
Good
old
for
is he
them.
supposed to be in the show, though, do you think?
I think early 20s. I feel like
Oh,
because
been bamboozled.
I'd say like 26. In the show.
Ella Purnell, she's 29. So yeah, I think they're supposed to be like the mid 20s. So
Wait. 29 in the show or 29 in real life?
real life. I don't know the show age. I don't got that at my disposal. With the Vault, not much happened other than they were like obviously last week the marriage happened. She's Canadian. They're breaking down door. Also, we got some. I can't remember because I watched them back to back. The flashbacks of her with Kyle MacLachlan, that was last week, right?
That
Of
was this
her.
week.
That was this week. So I don't think this is the case, but because they introduced that her mom was out there, got lost, and became a ghoul. Is there any chance this person's Lucy's mom?
100%, yeah.
That's what I was
Right?
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting to see what's going to happen there if they're going to fully go that route or what.
But you would think Steph would, in that world, okay, if that is the world, does Steph know that?
I feel like she'd have to, right? Because she was the one pregnant, and if she's only sleeping with Kyle MacLachlan.
Now, because I'm trying to think back on like any interactions they had in season 1, they were buddies, right?
Yeah,
Before
and they
Lucy-
But
could.
we know she doesn't have any care for her kids, right? I mean, look at how she's been with her
Well,
kid this whole season.
because she might be another program like Kyle MacLachlan, though, right?
Yeah, that's true.
She's another. She could just be another vessel. She might not even be a
That's
person.
extremely likely, I guess.
Yeah, that has all folds, and that's my only reason of the only way I think Lucy could end up back there. Obviously, she didn't see those flashbacks, right? She's not the viewer. I'm just saying they could tie that together. Maybe Norm finds something out. Maybe that's what you give
Do you
Norm
think
Juicy to
Steph's
do.
mind controlled though? I feel like she's kind of evil enough that I would think that maybe she's just a evil person.
Or is that her programming though? That she's
Yeah,
evil,
that's
right?
how do you deduce the difference, really?
Because he said
Yeah,
you're
I
not
guess
even going to
who's
know.
doing the programming. What would be the incentive one way or the other? It's hard to know.
And I would kind of assume that if he was like top of the chain and he was programmed, why wouldn't she? You know, it's one of these things of like, if all these people are so far out and they don't have control in people, do you want to risk anybody and they're all about free will, right? Do you want to risk anybody changing their mind or getting a heart or abandoning the mission versus we can press a button and make them do whatever? Like we've already seen people in that vault like change up on her, right? So I'm not going to say 100%, but my percentages lean to she might have a chip as well. And then I don't know if she, I don't know. That's tough because yeah, I really don't know. And then I don't know what this phase 2 thing is. It's and also because when she called back and she said like I'm so and so's wife, to me that's also a way of like, oh well, we trust her because she is in line with him. So I don't know. There's some interesting thing that could be something that they give. What's his name? The brother's name again?
Norm.
That could be a juicy thing for him, is if you find out this girl's his actual mother, right? Like. There's
Yeah.
some things you could do there. You're same age.
I
He
mean,
doesn't
are,
wanna kill
are
her.
Lucy and Norm even brother sister at this point? Who the heck knows?
Yeah, they got the same hair, you know. So maybe
Do they?
they got the brown hair, you know. I think it's a similar color.
It's like
But I
one
can-
of the 3 options for hair color.
Yeah, that's true.
He doesn't have the Lucy eyes though. I don't think they're from the same parent.
No,
Yeah.
no eyes.
What do Ella Purnell's parents look like? Do they have eyes like her?
I don't know. I read something about when people have big eyes. It's actually not that they have big eyes; they just have smaller heads.
She just has a really small head.
Well, it was a legit thing. It was not. I'm not memeing. That's what it was. So, go back earlier while Dylan's searching up. Dr. Rolls asked, "Do you all think the VATS mechanic was portrayed better this season or last season?"
Did they even use this season?
It was when Lucy was on the drugs. Remember that when she was on the drugs and
Oh,
they did
yeah.
slow mo.
With the Elvises, right?
Yeah, to me that was a better use. We didn't do too much. I don't have a memorable scene for season 1 of them doing that, where that was a fun, memorable scene of all the ghouls on the strip. They're Elvises, she's on the drugs. So to me, I think it was portrayed better in this season, and I think it's something you don't want to overdo because, like Dylan alluded with the guy, the cover and the sniper, that is cool, but you don't want to just over and over just feel like you're alluding, or because then it doesn't become a show anymore. It just becomes like a cool CGI cutscene, and you want to find a balance of that, right? So I don't think every time we do an action scene that should be evoked and like, okay, we gotta do slow mo and go after limbs and stuff. So I think better for me this season,
Yeah.
or more memorable at
I
least.
think
So
yeah, once per season you do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Any luck on those parents?
Couldn't find anything.
Okay, we'll just assume it's Kyle MacLachlan and her.
Yeah.
Anything else? That's all my notes I have for this finale.
I too am noteless.
Wasted in the wasteland.
Okay, so I kind of alluded to this earlier. I'm for now going to drop a 7 on this. I actually do think the score could actually go up or down depending on season 3 and how things go. I think this is setting up a lot of stuff, and I'm not saying that everything has to be resolved next season, but I think a lot of the storylines that have been going on for 1 and 2 should be resolved in 3, and then introduce some new stuff. You know, the vault stuff should be settled. The Norm and sister stuff should be settled. Howard's family should be settled. If it's not, and we're back here season 3 being like, oh, Howard's still looking for his family, that'll retroactively make this season worse for me. But the next season could actually kind of maybe bump it to like a 0.5, maybe a 1, because like Taylor said, like that reveal of Kyle MacLachlan. Now I want to go back and watch season 1 thinking about that this guy the whole time is a program, right? So there are things that are making it more interesting. So that's where I am right now at a 7. Like I said, the first season was about a 9.5, somewhere in there. I think I had a few issues, so I couldn't get to the full Monty of a 10. But I feel comfortable with a 7 right now. We'll revisit it in the future. So that's where I am.
I'll double down because I also want to give this bad boy a 7. So that's acknowledging all my, of course, biases and all the fan service that they have in here, which is all fun stuff I like to see. But I think overall, I just was not super vibing with this season. I think we wasted a lot of time on some storylines that I was not super engaged in. But as you just mentioned, I totally agree with that too. Like retroactively, I could see this getting affected by what happens in season 3. But I think maybe one of the more damning things I could say about this is that like I was so excited to rewatch season 1 and I don't rewatch shows ever. Like that's very
Yeah.
rare for me to do that. Other than like Nathan for You, that's the only thing I like rewatch.
What
so
if?
I was like excited to do a rewatch of season 1. Did that in preparation for season 2, and that was a really good time. But when season 3 comes out, I'm not too interested in doing a rewatch of
No.
this season. So that's too bad.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I probably won't revisit this at any point. I don't know though. Maybe if season 3 is great, I'm like, damn. Now I got to see how that connects back to season 2 stuff. But I would say that's a little bit unlikely. I'm so excited for season 3, but yeah, I'm gonna stick with a 7.0.
So maybe Dylan will rewatch season 2 in preparation of season 4 if season 3 is great. You know, it's kind of that full circle thing.
And then for season
right?
5, we can finally rewatch season 1 because it's been a while. Yeah,
Yeah.
all that. Yeah.
You gonna be watching the reality show, Dylan? The Vault Dweller?
Dude,
thing or
I was
whatever?
thinking, should I apply to go on that show?
Absolutely, you should.
Yes,
you
do
should.
it.
You have make sure you have those videos saved up. Talk about like your history with the franchise and just
Yeah.
why you think. Talk about Survivor.
I did save a tab of it. I was like, I should apply for this. So I don't know what
Absolutely.
the I don't know what the deadline is, but I'll apply. I'll try to get on there.
You
Rep the
should.
Geek First Pride on there.
That's a full circle moment there. So, Taylor, at the end of all things, what's your number?
You know what? I think this is gonna be our luckiest episode yet because I'm going to 7. You know, 7.
I thought you'd be higher. That's why I left you last. But okay, 7.
No, I feel really good about the.
no,
I feel good about
no.
that. Yeah, there were
8.
things that were rushed, and there were things that I feel like just loose ends. And the way this finale concluded, I'm just not feeling satisfied with that carrot dangling a little bit further out of my reach and having to wait a little bit longer. But that being said, there was enough in here that it got me juiced, got me excited, got me amped up with some action sequences and the characters. The actors all came to bat. I really enjoyed a lot of that stuff, and there were a couple reveals in here that were really, really intense and awesome. And yeah, it just at its core, I really liked having Lucy and Cooper just kind of going through the wasteland as a dynamic duo kind of team. I really enjoyed that. I think I have just like a weak bone for that kind of thing in media where you just get two characters that just have very different mentalities, but if the actors have that kind of synchronicity with each other, that chemistry, then anything's possible on that screen, and I'll eat it up every single day. So I think I was really on board with it. So if they do switch Lucy out for Norm, I hope that he's got that chemistry with Goggins too. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Forgot to do this. I'll do it now. Shout out our Patreon producers, Aaron Braden, April Darkness, Jack Grant, Superbad Mike, God Loves Me 69, aka Norm Reedus, Fetus, Hidalgo, Lenny Kravitz, Cocktail Clay, John No Age, Sam Green, and John M. And you could listen to this whole episode ad free. So a big shout out to everyone that's watching. Lots of people in the viewer count there, so I appreciate that. If you like what we do, subscribe. We'll be back for Fall 3. We review a bunch of other shows that are either in the past or coming up. And yeah, you can get over 40 exclusive episodes this year. You can get episodes ad-free, early, poll access, behind the scenes, after 9. Just a bevy of things to do there. So that is in the books for Fallout Season 2. We'll be back whenever at a non-predetermined date for Fall Season 3. I promise until then, it'll not be boring.